What's up and welcome back, Wargamers. We're getting ready for a little tactics talk, a little list review. David, walk us through what we're going to do today.
All right, so we just recently dropped a video, Nighthaunt versus Stormcast Eternals. It's available for members right now, and it will be available for all of our viewers on Thursday. So we wanted to do something a little fun. We are going to make this tactics talk available for all of our viewers, just to give you a little idea of some of the things that we're doing for our premium members. So basically every Monday, typically, we're going to be going over the lists that we're going to be running for the video that drops that Tuesday. So you'll get a little bit more of an idea of why we're taking the list we are, why we think they're good, or just why we think they're plain fun. As all of you know, we like to have a lot of fun when we play our games. It's not always all about being competitive, right, Mike?
That's right. And
yeah, this is, like I said, Stormcast Eternals versus Nighthaunt. We tried to play into the new meta a little bit, taking some bounty hunters, some expert conquerors, and Michael, you took a lot of endless spells in this one, didn't you?
I painted all of the endless spells that week, and I got excited and just tried to jam as many of them in as I could. If they'd let me take more than 3, I would.
Yeah, well, it was a wild ride, to say the least. So yeah, it's a really fun video. I'm excited for everybody to see it. If you're finding this and you're new to the channel, we really appreciate you taking time to watch. If you're interested in checking out our Discord, our membership service, or our affiliate, Baron of Dice, you can hit those links down below. Once again, this is for a video that's going to be dropping on Thursday, the 21st. So it's going to be coming real soon, and you can get a little bit of behind the scenes as to why we pick these lists. So Michael, I'm going to go ahead and pull up your list first, and then we'll get into this. All right.
Perfect. All right. So here's the Emerald Host list. Like David was saying, I made some pretty major revisions to the list to update for GHB 2022. So I did take a Emperor's Champion, what is it? The Conquerors.
Expert
Conquerors. I got stuck on Emperor's Champions, and that's not right. And then I took a bounty hunter. So the Hexrays went as my bounty hunters. I think Hexrays as bounty hunters do make sense since they're not galley vets. And then the Spirit Hosts as expert conquerors in the back also makes sense since they're just kind of always going to be in the back. So the list, we started with the General, the Cruciator. We have a Linder in there, Reichner. We're going to go into this a little bit more. Spirit Torment. We have all the endless spells, some battle line. We went with the Emerald Host because I really like that curse ability. Pick D3 units, D3+1, and that takes D3 mortals at the battle phase, end of the turn.
Yeah, really. Emerald Host is really good. So one more time, who were your expert conquerors in this list?
So just the conquerors were the Spirit Hosts. I don't think the Chain Rasp went into that battalion as well. Like they could have, but I don't think I actually put them in there. And then the Hex Wraiths were bounty hunters. No, bladegheists were bounty hunters, weren't they?
Yeah, so you had 2 units of 10 bladegheists that were bounty hunters.
Right, and then I didn't put the Hex Wraiths in. Switch that.
Yeah. Now you have to keep in mind when we're doing these list reviews, it's been about 3 weeks since we actually played the game. But yeah, that was right. So you had the bounty hunters and the bladegheists, and then you had the expert conquerors in the Spirit Hosts, and I think you did do the Chain Rasps. However, the Chain Rasps were extra squirrely in this video. You'll have to watch it so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
that's the subfaction. Let's take a look at the General and like why he is the General.
Sure.
So the General's the Cruel Gas Cruciator. And I mean, Lady Olinda is like the honest general of this list, right?
Sure.
But I have to pick someone as the general. And I went with the Cruel Gas just for the Grand Strat. There's a achievable Grand Strat in the Nighthaunt book, Dismantle the Brave. And it means I have to kill the thing with the highest leadership, and my general has to stay alive. The Cruel Gas is always going to be hanging in the back. He's always going to be kind of hands off. And then I give him a command trait, Cloaked in Shadow, so he can't be targeted in the. He can only be targeted once in any phase. So you can only shoot him once, you can only fight him once. So it should make him a little bit more durable.
Yeah, which is nice because if you only have one unit going into him, I can discorporate him every time and keep them
Correct.
safe. The other thing is he reduces damage if other things are terrified that are attacking him, which is really, really good. And then you gave him the Arcane Tome, correct?
I did,
Yeah.
mostly because I needed another wizard.
Yeah. Well, because you took a bunch of endless spells. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's get into Ladio and Reichnor, the Grimhaler, and the Spirit Torment. Just really quickly kind of talk through the 3 units and why they're good.
So Ladio is just generally pretty bashy. She's a 2-cast wizard. She has a 4-up ward, and once a battle, she has a table-wide D6 res. So you got to be very particular when you use that, but it can be very, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Reichnor the Grimhaler is actually pretty fighty. He's really fast with a 14-inch movement and fly. I think he has 5 attacks at Ren 2 damage, 3s and 3s. So he's pretty bashy. What I like about him is he can wound himself. He can snuff a corpse candle and get a plus to cast. So if he snuffs his own corpse candle and hurts himself, he gets a +3 to cast.
Which is extremely good. And we'll talk about kind of how your endless spells work and why they're
Right.
good. I'm sure it's not new to a lot of people, but it's fun to talk about extra little pieces of tech that sometimes people don't catch. I think Reichnor the Grimhaler is supremely good for 190 points.
Yeah, this was the first time I've taken him in the new edition, and I really, really liked him. He
Yeah, he did
hit
fantastic.
hard.
I put a lot of effort into fighting him in the video, and
Yeah.
you guys will see that. I mean, he has 7 wounds, but it felt like he had 20.
Oh, he held strong against the storm. And then the Spirit Host or the Spirit Torment, uh, he just brings back 3. He can heal 3, flat 3, or he can bring back 3 every was it end of every combat phase. So he's
Yeah,
just
which is
constantly
extremely
bringing stuff
good.
back.
I mean, if you put 6 spirit hosts with him and he's just always bringing one of them back at the end of
Yeah.
every turn, it's really hard to chew through. One thing I have learned playing against your new Nighthaunt faction is that you need to pick up entire units or just don't even bother, pretty
Right.
much. I mean,
Yep.
if you're not picking up whole Nighthaunt units and you're doing it wrong, and sometimes that's a lot harder than you think because of their non-rendable save. I mean, if you spike the 4s, you have the best day ever. If you don't spike the 4s, you can crumple fast. So that's some kind of variability in the Nighthaunt army that I don't like, but I think it's cool at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's really good against heavily armored or high rend opponents, which have kind of been dominating lately. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the endless spells that you took, because you took a bunch of them.
Yeah. So the Purple Sun, the Gnashing Jaws, and the Cogs. The Gnashing Jaws are good. I don't think they're the top, but they're really, really fun. So the Purple Sun, I think by this point, everyone should generally know what the Purple Sun does. It does a 6-inch aura of -1 to the save. And that's to the save roll, not to save characteristics. That's very important. And then it has a 3-inch aura of on a 1, kill a model in that unit. And if it's a hero, it just deletes the hero. You know, is that your 840 point Alariel? Get her out of here. I don't foresee the Purple Sun staying as strong as it is for very long, but it's fun for now.
I think it's extremely cool. I mean, I think it needs to be the strongest endless spell. It looks like the strongest endless spell. It's a Purple Sun of Death. I mean,
and
I think it's
really
amazing.
good. It's really good in the Nighthaunt because the Nighthaunt don't care about that -1 to save, so we can put it right in front of our lines and not care.
Right, you can just kind of hang out right with it, which is really good. I think a lot of other people want to use it as a tech piece, but they can't like hang out next to it, you know? You pretty much need to like stay 8 inches away. I could see like armies that can get a caster up the board and then shoot from afar, like Stormcast or Lumineth Realm Lords are going to love this, right? Like you can drop a Lore Seeker on an objective before the battle begins, and then literally just cast it and push it into the front lines. And then all
Yeah.
that stuff is -1 to save. And then you've got archers from 42 inches away, potentially, shooting you to death once you're -1 to save. And then it just has that opportunity to auto delete. Super good.
So then you have, next up, you have the Gnashing Jaws. The Gnashing Jaws move 3d6, and then anything they move over or they're in within 1 inch, they get to pick 1 unit. And on 2 up, you compare its movement to the Gnashing Jaws movement, and you do that many mortals, whatever the difference is.
Yeah.
So it's really good against very slow things. Like most Stormcast stuff is really slow. So this is a really fun. I don't think it's always going to be great, but it's really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, when it moves 3d6, there were a couple times that I had elites that moved 10 or 12 inches, and you were still rolling high enough to proc with this thing,
Yeah.
which was surprising to me. I mean, average roll on 3d6 is 10, and it can re-roll the first time it hits the board, right?
Right. When it's summoned, it's allowed to.
But only the
re-roll.
first time.
Right.
So that gives you the opportunity, like if it comes out and you roll like a 8 on dice and you're like, that's garbage, you can roll it again. Like if it's anything under 10, I think you should re-roll it when it comes out.
Might as well.
But yeah, if you're rolling like a 13 or something and you're going into some judicators that move 5 inches, you're going to have a lot of fun with that. So that was actually a lot stronger than I thought it was, because I actually hadn't read the new rules for the Gnashing Jaws until you brought them out. So surprisingly good. And then last one, go over the cogs, man.
The cogs don't move. They just come out. They're summoned, and they can either speed up time or slow down time. Speeding up time gives a reroll aura that I think very few people are going to use. Slowing down time gives a reroll of casting auras.
Right.
And
what makes that so good in your list, and this is the one thing that I wanted to unbind. I actually was focused on trying to not let this thing hit the board. Nonetheless, it's hard when your list has no casters. You guys will see what my list is. But what makes that so good is what Reichner can do.
Right.
So Reichner can burn a corpse candle, give himself +3 to cast, and then he can use the chronomatic cogs to re-roll that. So he's +3 re-rolling. Really good way to get that purple sun out, yeah?
Yep. And so what I did is I bring out, Lady Olinda brings out, she's standing in the center. She'll bring out the cogs on a 5. And then Reichner is going to be within that 12-inch bubble. So turn 1, he's going to get his re-rolls. And then the cruel gas is going to be in that. So turn 1, I have a reasonable shot to get all of my endless spells out and just go ham. And that's the general idea there.
I think magic is a lot stronger than a lot of people are assuming. It definitely was for me. So if you haven't gotten a whole lot of games in with the new GHB and you're going into endless spells, just beware, they are silly good right now. Like we didn't see any of them, and now everybody's running them. So just be ready. All right, let's get into your troops. Pretty straightforward Nighthaunt troops, but let's run it down.
So we have bladegheists, spirit hosts, chain rast, and hex wraiths. So one thing to note: bladegheists aren't battle line; they're just other. They're battle line in Scarlet Doom.
Correct. Yeah.
Spirit hosts, they take wounds for my heroes, but then my heroes or them don't get to get wards.
Yeah.
1 unit of chain rast. I threw them in as just a cheap screen because I had some extra points. And then 2 units of hex wraiths. The hex wraiths I was not sold on before this game, but generally I'm going to put them out in front of the whole army as a screen. Since they're not Galatian veterans, they should be able to absorb any sort of charge so that my army can survive and fight back.
And 10 wounds on a 4-up save and a ward is fine. They don't hit hard at all. Maybe in bounty hunters, but I mean, I'm still not sold on cavalry as bounty hunters because you can't fight in 2 ranks.
Sure.
So the only way I could see that as viable is maybe if you were running, say, OCR Bone Reapers with spears. That could be pretty good. That could be spicy. So you've got 3 attacks each from the spears. They're fighting in 2 ranks because of their reach. They have exploding 5s when they charge. Then you could give them empower weapons, and they have exploding 4s when they charge. So there's some cavalry that will do good. Seraphon, crushingly good. I mean, five knights with 35 attacks and everything is 2 damage now is super gross and disgusting.
If you've been looking at any of the tournaments from over the last weekend, they're like the knights are in every single Seraphon list. Like you're going to see
and I called that
Yep.
weeks ago.
Yep.
Weeks ago. I said that is the best list I can think of right now. And it's like, it's almost like a brain dead list. I mean, like 3 units of those is, they're just gonna do so much damage. Like, I feel like the Seraphon always win, dude. I mean, no hate on Seraphon players, dude, because it still takes skill, but gosh dang if they're not just amazingly good at everything they do. So yeah, so Hex Race, they've got a double move ability that you never really used, but they're just really annoying and they res and they can do mortals.
I see a lot of people playing in the way where they double move these Hex Raids in front of the opponent's army and then stand there and like, okay, you can't move now. I guess that's a tactic.
It matters what you're playing.
And I guess that matters what you're playing, right? But like if I did that into the list that you're about to show, you just beat the ever-loving snot out of it.
Right.
Like you'd be like, all right, thanks, and just slap things around, and I don't think it would do anything for me.
Right, exactly. Any strong unit is gonna pick up Hex Race like no problem, like with 50% of their power. So so Spirit Host or Bodyguard, Chain Rasp or Chaff, pretty straightforward. But what makes this list good is the casting, the hero guarding, and all of the debuffs that your army has. So you're stacking Purple Sun with other debuffs throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, minuses to hit, minuses to saves. I think at one point, Reichner is going to get up to like a -4 save or something.
Super good. So this list is 1,995 points. So I believe I had the triumph in this. I think I was 1950. So let's go ahead and take a look at Lil Davey's list. Lil Davey is still addicted to the Stormcast. I am going to take Stormcast to the Boise Cup, and I am going to win a lot of games. I don't care. I'm ready, man. So this is just a fun one. I wasn't trying to completely counter Michael's list, because we talk lists, we want to make sure that our videos are quality, right? We're not trying to beat the brakes off of each other. We're trying to show you guys something that's fun to watch. So my thought was, okay, I'll go hyper elite with some ranged and some mortal wound output, but I'm not going to take any magic support, right? So that means that the endless spells can run amok a little bit more, and Michael gets to play with his toys a little bit more. So we're Hammers of Sigmar, so the whole army will get a 6-up ward if they're wholly within 12 of any objective, which happens quite frequently. Right. I only have 1 hero in this list. It's the Celestant Prime. And then I've got all the goodies. We got a unit of 2 Stormdrake Guard. We've got a Chariot just for some extra spice. 2 units of 2 Fulminators. 10 Judicators with the Mortal Wound bows. Not super sold on the crossbows. Some people love them. I like the longbows. 2 units of 5 Vindictors. Now, I put the Vindictors and the Judicators and Expert Conquerors, so every battle line that wasn't mounted is going to count as 3. That helped me a lot. And then in Bounty Hunters, I decided to put both units of Fulminators in the Stormdrake Guard, and that didn't help me as much. Basically, you really got to think about your deploy if you're going to take Bounty Hunters. You want to make sure that you can get into battle line and not get too carried away with putting them in other places on the board, because if they get tied up, you're not going to get that extra damage. But this is a strong list. There's a lot of really strong stuff that you can do with this list. Lots of mortal wounds from afar, lots of damage, and low points. So you're probably going to get your triumph. Let's go into the Grease. Let's start with the Greasy General. The Greasy General is a Celestant Prime. Oh, I need to update my antivirus. Okay, so the General is a Celestant Prime. I don't get to take any command traits or artifacts, but the Celestant Prime does everything you want him to do. Wouldn't you agree, Michael?
Yeah, he just goes on little tiny prime adventures. He's a self-contained hero, and he doesn't need support, and he can usually just take a flank. And for 325 points, the amount of pressure he puts on a backfield is pretty intense, actually.
It's supreme because he can auto charge 12.
Right.
So that means that his threat range is 24 inches. He's also just peppering you with mortal wounds with his Comet Strike Scepter. So he's amazing. I've always toyed around with the idea of bringing him down early and just using him for his shooting for a whole game. And you know that's an option that you have, but keep in mind that if you bring him down early, he doesn't have as many attacks. If you do that, just be ready to not do as much damage in melee as you think you will, especially if you're playing against a damage reducer like a Cruel Gash Cruciator or Seraphon's Scaly Skin ability. I think he's a turn 2 or 3 person. So taking him as a general, would I do it again? Probably not. I'd probably take something cheap like a Knight Incanter, slap Mirror Shield on him and just hide in a corner just so I have an auto unbind. But I love the Celestant Prime. Does he make a good general? I don't know. It was just a fun experiment that I did with this list.
I take him in a lot of my lists. I take him turn 2 if I'm in danger. I've dropped him down. But turn 3 if everything's going according to plan. And then turn 3, he just wrecks anything he touches.
Yeah, his Comet Strike Scepter is cool to do some chip damage turn 1 and 2. But if you bring him down 3, he's going to do way more damage in the long run. And it's very tactical because armies have to keep a couple units back. They can't just keep 1 unit back, because he will obliterate that unit. So yeah, I think that he has to stay up until at least 2.
Remember that game that I made you, like, he never got to fight because he was always in the back just holding objectives?
Yes, but he was holding objectives.
Like, yeah.
And I think, I don't remember if I won that one, but that was a really good game. All right, anyway, that's enough with the Celestant Prime. He can change dice. He does mortal wounds. He auto charges. He's got a 4-up ward. He's freaking good. Like, anybody who plays Stormcast Eternals needs to have that piece in their list. Like, he's just amazing. He's one of the best models in the whole Stormcast line. And they have like 300 different things you can buy. So let's get into elites. Everybody knows Stormdrake Guard. They have no hero phase move anymore. They're still tanky. They're still killy. There's still a lot of wounds, and they're still scary to go into.
Yeah.
Now, in a few weeks, we're going to be dropping a video with the Pure Dragons list versus Sylvaneth, and that was a cool game, man. I think y'all are really going to dig that. It was a cool game. Yeah. Dragons still have play. You got to play smart though, man. You can't just win anymore. So I think having a couple Stormdrake Guard in any order list is going to help you. They still have lots of tools. The Mortal Wound Spit, Bounty Hunters to get the extra damage can be pretty good if you're smart and you actually get them into battle line. So yeah, is Pure Dragons good anymore? I don't think so. They're still hard to kill and they're still scary to play against, but they're not like they used to be. Stormstrike Chariot, 12 wounds, 3-up save, every inch it charges, 4-up mortal wound. What's not to love?
I can't believe I think it's 5-up mortal wounds.
Nope, it's 4s.
Is it 4s?
Yep.
Wow.
It's an Annihilator. It's an Annihilator riding on some Griffhounds. Griff Chargers.
I can't believe that they gave this thing 12 wounds and then didn't make it bracket.
Yeah, it's chunky, dude. It's chunky.
Like,
it's really good. Just, you can screen with it. You can slap a Mystic Shield on it and just be like so annoying.
And it looks
think it can give itself commands though, right?
You have the book. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it can give itself commands. I didn't have a chance to do that because of things that happened, but Stormstrike Chariot, it's pretty great for 165. I think it would be fun to take like 3 of them and just go to town.
I'm seeing a lot of lists taking 2. So
well, I would just put them behind Libs or something, Libs or Aether Wing, something super duper cheap, and just be like, well, you got to kill those stupid things that don't matter off of the objective, and then bam, some chariots charging into your face. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're great. They're great. I like them. I didn't get to have as much fun with it my first time around, but that's okay. I was learning. All right, let's get into the battle line. The juice. Like I said, my list is really straightforward, man. I've got 2x2 fulminators. These are in bounty hunters. So if they charge into a battle line, -2 rend and 4 damage. That's spicy.
Yeah,
And then
I still think they're good. Fulminators.
the fulminators didn't lose. The fulminators won because now they do more damage. They do exactly what they used to do, and they're not priority targets. So, I mean, I would put 6 of these in a list and just put a bunch of chaff around them and just have the greatest time ever. They're super fun. I only have 4. I if I have an extra 460 points, they're probably coming up onto the table. I mean, and if you get that 9-inch charge, the look on people's faces when they're taking like 40 damage from something that deep struck and just charged into them is priceless, man. I love fulminators.
Yeah, when you put fulminators on the line, like I get so nervous. I've seen you win tournaments by just being like, all right, I'm just gonna make 9-inch charges. And like,
Oh yeah. We went to an RTT and I went 3-0, dude, and I made 9-inch charges on the first battle round in every game. It was glorious. I killed 20 plague bearers and a great unclean one.
Yeah.
On the top of 2 after getting my charge and winning the roll off after battle round 1. It was insanely good. Yeah, they have so much play. I'm so happy. Like I'm bummed because Michael and I spent like $1,400 on dragons and now they're not so good. But we've talked about how now we can take them in less competitive situations and not feel so bad about it. So
yeah, there's pros and cons.
Yeah. So judicators, I took 10 just because I couldn't fit 15 into this list because I wanted to have those vindictors because I took call for aid, holy command, so I could get a unit back. 10 judicators is pretty good. They pepper and do mortals, and you can have a great time, or you can miss all your 6s to hit and they do nothing. Nighthaunt is tricky because of the debuffs, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, adjudicators are still great. I think they're medium to strong good, but they're not like broken good. And they're just fun. It's just nice to be able to reach 24 inches away and hit things with mortal wounds and just have that pressure there. It's like, do I just let these things attack me, or do I try to go over there and get them? And what I try to do with Stormcast, since they're so elite, is I try to pick the army apart and try to pull them in different directions, and hopefully I can win on either flank because I'm a little bit more elite than my opponent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Keep in mind with Age of Sigmar, man, those roll-offs can be freaking brutal sometimes, especially against Nighthaunt that debuff. So I'm not going to talk big on Vindictors. They, 3-up save, mortal wounds on 6s. They do okay. They're just screens. And that's one thing that Stormcast has a hard time with is having enough screens. It seems like if you break through the line against Stormcast Eternals, you're going to get into something juicy.
Yeah, I think Liberators are having more and more play just because of that. Bringing down to 115 points against Liberators, you know, that saves you 30 points in your list. You start squeezing in more stuff, more endless spells.
Sure. I mean, well, exactly. Like, look where I'm at. I could swap out the Celestant Prime for 2 cheaper heroes, take libs instead of Vindictors, and then throw a couple endless spells in, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, things are changing big time. And you're going to notice in this game that some of the stuff that was the ish is still good, but it just doesn't do exactly what it needs to anymore. As far as like battle tactics and things like that. So super fun list though. This is a fun, exciting Stormcast list. You get a little bit of everything. It's like a charcuterie plate of Stormcast models, if you will.
What plate? A charcuterie?
A charcuterie. Do you know what a charcuterie is?
No.
It's an assortment of meats and cheeses and pickled things, and you try everything, crackers and whatnot. So if you go to a nice restaurant, they'll serve you a charcuterie that has like 20 different things on it. Think like a snackable, but for like, or I'm sorry, a lunchable, but for rich people.
See, now you're talking my language. I understand.
It's a lunchable for rich people.
Yeah,
so a charcuterie of Stormcast. This is a fun list. If you take this list, you're gonna win games. And you're gonna have to earn it. It's not just auto win anymore. You're gonna win games, but even if you lose, you have something to do in every phase, and that's fun, right? You get to shoot. It's great. You know, aside from the no magic thing. So yeah, that's the list. What do you think? What do you think about the matchup that we did? Was it fun?
I had a fantastic time. Let's go to full screen since we're done looking at the list. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to full screen so you can see my beautiful face.
I had a great time. The roll off is going to be big. Both of these armies hit really, really well.
Yeah, you don't want to take a double turn from either of these armies.
But anytime we get to put Nighthaunt and Stormcast on the list, on the table, and play, you know it's going to be good. Like,
bro, they're the OGs, man.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to stop playing Stormcast. They are so freaking fun. And Nighthaunt is so cool. And I'm so glad they got the love they deserve, you know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, just like a lot of people, I started collecting Stormcast and Nighthaunt at the same time because I picked up a Soul Wars box.
Soul Wars, baby.
You know, so these are my
That's
first
like that guy that gives
armies.
You a little crack rock in the alley. You know, you get that first crack rock for free or for very cheap, and then you're hooked for life.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a good game. I can't wait to see what you guys think about it because, of course, David and I love these games. We think they're really great. And I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. It's already out to the members, and I've got to see a bunch of the members' comments, and the members are really enjoying it, and they're having a lot of fun with it. So I'm excited to see what everybody else thinks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we just launched a Discord once we hit 10 channel members. Please, everybody, get into that Discord. I'm going to leave a link down below so you can check it out. I want everybody to start sharing their projects, you know, what they think about the state of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We've got 40K battle report coming up. I don't really play 40K, but Michael was nice enough to show me the ropes the other day. We had a blast. That's going to be dropping for members. And, you know, just throwing a couple bucks our way, becoming a member really, really helps us grow this channel. This is all new for us, but we want to make sure that we are really packing your dollar full of value, making sure that that we're giving you really good content and trying to do more and more all the time because we really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really well said. We really appreciate each and every one of our members, and it's been so much fun getting to know them kind of outside of the comment section, but actually seeing people interact on Discord.
Yeah, and that's what's cool with Discord, really cool. You
know. So I think that's about it for us tonight. I'm excited for this game to go live for everyone on Thursday, right?
Absolutely. So I hope some of you get a chance to go through our list breakdown. If you have any questions or any special lists or something that you think would be cool or that you think would have play from either one of these armies, please do post those. But for tonight, that's going to be it. Please check out our next video, and we'll see you soon in a battle report.